What's going on, guys? It's Ashford from ASHTAGbricks here, and yeah, this is the second video of the new decade. Happy 2020, by the way. And we're kicking off the decade and sitting on the floor, and you might recognize the Christmas tree, and it had been not running as smoothly as normal for Christmas of 2019 when the Christmas village was set up looking beautifully. They do such a great job on those sets. But I was trying to investigate and figure out what the cause of it was, and I actually had a video planned out because I thought if I can do this with one hand and dump that stuff out. Oh, Christmas tree came off. But I thought it was this gear system in here because you see, as the front wheels turn, it is hooked up to a worm gear, which turns that double bevel gear, which runs straight up through. Oh my gosh, I'm knocking everything off trying to do this one-handed, but actually that could be better because then we can see it completely. It runs straight up through that platform, actually slowly spinning the gearing down and slowly spinning the Christmas tree. And so I thought that was the cause of the issue. And so I had planned out a video of trying to rework the gearing system, which I had it set up in 2017 and 2018. And if you have seen the little montage I did last year after taking it down, you'll have seen how smoothly it runs. And I'm going to turn that off to save battery. And so I was setting the train back up for the video, and I was given a little test because of the fact that, I was finding it so much more difficult to attach this little bit of a cord, this connection, from which is connected to the IR receiver, which is in turn connected to the motor down here, and running that to the battery box, which is highly necessary and is what makes the whole system work. And so I tried, maybe I did something wrong, flipped it around. So I did a little test just to see just to make sure I would be able to recreate the issue because, that issue, and sorry for breaking everything off back there, was the whole point of making this video. And so I tested it, and it ran very smoothly. I tested it without any presents in the back right here, because normally it's filled up with presents to give to children, and it ran like butter. I turned my fan up here off so I could truly just listen to any sounds that it was making because, normally you could just hear the sound of the motor, but this year you could hear it snagging. The snagging was actually auditory and extremely loud. And so I thought, maybe some dust got into the worm gear, or maybe, the worm gear was stiffening up and I would need to redesign it. So upon this realization, I went over and got the bag of toys, the bag that held all of the toys out of the tub, and I put some meaty toys in here. As you can see, there's a rather large robot. You can see a biplane, a rocket ship, a train, some smaller things like the teddy bear and this little wind-up car. And I tossed them and I arranged them so they wouldn't fall, but I just tossed them into the back of the car and let it run for a few seconds. Again, I've got the remote right here, and it again ran very quietly. It ran how I was expecting it, how I would expect it to, and it ran like butter. There were no snags. So I viewed this as both good news and bad news. Good news because I've got my Christmas train, and I don't want to do this too many times because it'll fall off the tracks. So, I've got my Christmas train fixed for next year to be able to really admire it more than I did Christmas of 2019. It's bad news, A, because it made me feel kind of dumb and sort of wore down my patience a little bit today. also because, you know, I'm happy to have it fixed, but at the same time, I was kind of looking forward to recording this video today, or at least part of this video today. And so, today, it is more of a vlog style video, because in the main design topic, and you can see this is most of the track that I used to go around the Christmas tree downstairs. And I mean, I left out the flex tracks and I added a couple just so I wouldn't have to use the flex track to make it a little smoother. I'm not talking about Lego techniques, I'm not talking about design techniques today. The topic I want to share with you guys is temperance. And I don't mean patience, although patience is very necessary to actually complete your projects and for more tedious aspects of design to be able to and not get frustrated and walk away. But also temperance for when these days in the life, or a day in the life, happens and incidents like these occurs, which are both relieving and also highly annoying. Still making a video about it because I feel like there is a necessary lesson to be learned when you're designing things, whether it be Lego or not. Going to come upon an instance like this that will make you feel incredibly the temperance is to just adapt, to be more flexible, to move on and just say thank you. That is what I was hoping for. Now let's see how we can still do what I was planning on in the first place, which is what I wanted. This is all turning out very positive, and hey, I still get to talk to you guys. So let's do a little bit of accident prevention. Alright, so there is one quick thing. I've got everything else in the tubs except for what I'm about to make. And I just want to make something real quick to keep Christmas 2020 Ashford from having to atone for these sins again. So I'm going to do that. Pay attention to position, it's a big I, of battery box. That should do it. That's a lot simpler fix for keeping the train running smoothly than having to redesign a gear system in the back car. So let's get that in one of the tubs. Okay, so here are the tubs. Here's the train. Oop, I forgot to put the engine in. Let's make sure and remember to do that. And let's put that right there. If that doesn't keep me from messing it up this year, I don't know what will. Now, while I've still hopefully got your attention, close one of the tubs off. I'll do the other once I get a picture for the thumbnail. Let's do a little bit of house cleaning. So, I've got this cup, which I use for brick separators, my set scissors, an extra blade to an X-Acto knife I don't even have anymore. Forgot that was in there. And some paintbrushes I use for dusting parts. Out with the old and into the new solution. I know it may be a little too adorable for a 15-year-old young man, but you know, I don't care. I love pandas. This fits perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. That looks great. So let's move the hand sanitizer over a little bit, and that'll be perfect. I mean, yeah, may be a little too cute to fit in up here, but oh, that's nice. Take this back down to my backpack, and if I can not knock the tripod over while sitting down, got some parts I want to just sort out before I organize. Some extra parts from the Christmas set, and they're going all over the place. And I just want to take a minute and talk about the 2020 goals of, these were where the train was going to go in the video I was originally going to make. Talk about 2020 for ASHTAGbricks and Geek Hotspot. First thing is, I want to, let's make sure you can actually see the parts. I want to actually sound more natural in videos. I've made such a point about making good videos that I've not made much of a point in making them mine, which I feel really bad about that. And so, yeah, that's going to be a thing. I'm going to be working on sounding a lot more natural, and excuse me if I sound out of breath. I've been moving around a lot up here. Just doing a rough draft of where these are going to go in my organizer. So that's usually ever frosting or ice cream, so it'll go in with the food section of my minifig organizers. And, you know, of course, I've still got the hopefully once a week upload schedule with ASHTAGbricks, Geek Hotspot. I'm trying to just get a workflow established first before I really make a set in stone schedule. But another thing is the effects of COPPA as of January 6th. That does not go there. As of January 6th, you might have noticed the effects of COPPA starting to take hold all over YouTube. Meaning, of course, if you haven't seen the COPPA video, that'll be linked below. As long as I don't forget, I'm going to be making a note. I know how I am, so I might have to make it pretty obvious. But that'll be my original COPPA video will be linked in the description. But we're starting to see that take hold. So comments are gone. Some of it isn't as horrible as I originally thought. It's still bad. Make no mistake about that. It is still bad. It's still a just thing that isn't in its final form federally. And so I really don't believe it should be in its final form digitally. And so, I mean, they update it every 5 years, and every update takes like 5 years to implement. And so the FCC won't have fully passed everything until 2023-ish. I mean, give or take some time. And so, I mean, since November, which was when I made the original COPPA video, I've been thinking a lot about it, both of what to do for myself and also, you know, my ideas for better solutions. And so, I have to say I've not made too much progress on, but I will share what needs to be done. Just in this video, next video I make for Geek Hotspot, I'll be mentioning this too. For anyone who has a Pinterest account, I have a Pinterest account, and I'm trying to make sure all of my videos are on Pinterest. They will be from here on out. I think there may be a couple of the older ones missing, but I'll try and make sure by the middle of February, let's say, to make sure and get into a routine of having all of my videos on Pinterest. But if you didn't know, Pinterest, I mean, even on videos you can't watch, you can share them. If you don't have a business account, which, I mean, I don't because I don't need one, you can't directly upload videos, but you can share them. And so I'm going to be doing, oh yeah, when the rain comes, which it has been raining really heavily today, Buddy, my boy dog, always thinks, you know, extra people are coming, which mainly it's just the extra squirrels, but hey, so sorry if you hear a bit more of him today, but hey. And so I'm going to be, like I said, sharing all of my videos from this point forward to my Pinterest account. And, you know, it's not perfect, particularly, you know, there is a bit smaller of a character limit on Pinterest, with comments, about 5,000, which, I mean, you know, I don't know what the character limit is for YouTube, but I mean that's still a lot. And I mean, you can still post on more than one comment or reply to your own comments if you have something longer than 5,000 characters. The FTC's open feedback for COPPA was 5,000 characters, and I managed to compose all of my complaints or most of my complaints, their side, not YouTube's side, their side, into 5,000 characters. And so, yes, I understand, some people who are viewers of mine may not have Pinterest accounts, and to those of you, I apologize. I am still working to, brainstorm of a better idea for myself, but currently, for myself, unless YouTube changes, which I don't see them doing that, or at least for the foreseeable future. I hope in the long run, I sincerely hope that they change the long run. Let's see, that looks kind of like a candy. I think I might put it in food. That's like goes as feathers in people's hats too, so that's why the fire's in there. But until they do, or until we as a community online get loud enough for YouTube to not be able to ignore, that's what's going to be happening my side. Again, there's still more and more news coming out about COPPA, but every source is contradicting the other. So I mean, I don't know what's really going on. I've also had to take a break from hearing it because, continuously hearing that kind of stuff could be taking years off my life. But on a bit more lighthearted and sarcastic note, which is definitely my style, I'm making a follow-up COPPA video for Geek Hotspot. It isn't necessarily personal. Of course, this whole thing is personal. And so, let's get my face in here. So, yeah, there we go. This thing is, of course, personal to everyone, but the video itself isn't as personal, and it's not directly related to the self-preservation of #United. And there we go. And I'll put those in organizers later off camera because I've got to move around a bit for that. But I'm making a follow-up of my ideas because, like I said, I've been brainstorming on that front too, to try and come up with a better solution than the one we currently have. And I don't know, I think I'm doing, I don't want to brag, I certainly don't want to brag, but I kind of like the direction it's going in, and so maybe consider checking out Geek Hotspot if you haven't already. It's still fairly early in production. I'm still writing the script, so it'll probably be a few weeks before it comes out, but that is in the works, and there will be more of my thoughts, less rushed thoughts about COPPA in that video, as well as, maybe some better solutions to it. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Also, that is not technic. I have started up another channel. It is not under the ASHTAGunited channel. Under the ASHTAGunited banner. And of course, these channels, ASHTAGbricks and Geek Hotspot, are still my lifeblood and my brain children, and are still my main passion. So those aren't going anywhere. This is going to be more few and far between. But of course, these channels are set up on my personal Google account, because I currently don't have any need to set up a separate account for them, particularly since it's me. But that channel with our names on it, we always have when we create a Google account. That's going to be, I'm setting that up. I'm currently, if you type in Ashford Gillis, and you should be able to find it. I don't know that you will, but it should come up. It's this as the profile pic, but I'm doing the standard housekeeping when you set up a new channel of, you know, profile pic and channel description and all that stuff to get it set up. But it's honestly just going to be, you know, the occasional video of either first person vlogging, because I'm still not showing my face just yet. I will in the future, but not yet. More like voiced over talking head videos, if that makes sense. Check out Asuma Says, which is Asuma Void's third channel, I believe. Channel where just to get kind of the idea of like talking stuff, of more like put you know, take a picture of my minifig or my hand and just put it in the video and voice that over for a topic. And you know, there might be the occasional video there, but if you want to keep up with and not just see Lego stuff and not just see stuff I do on Geek Hotspot, which I'm trying to keep, again, science, technology, and pop culture, trying to keep everything under that banner. I know the Kernelverse video really pushes its limits with that, but if you want to see something more centered around, you know, if I, which hopefully I don't get the flu anytime soon, but if I get the flu again, maybe you'll, I will try and make some sort of video. I might sound incredibly stuffed up, but I will try and make another, make a video and post it to my personal channel just to say that, which it feels weird saying personal channel since I'm the only one who works on these videos, but I don't know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, you know, checking out and listening to my little tangent about temperance, and for just seeing, you know, this essentially vlog and channel update for the new year and new decade, which sounds really weird. Man, most of my life was in the 2010s, and so much happened that it's weird to think that we're not in that anymore. Also, if you like my new paintbrush and on-hand brick separator holder, you know, go to this videos watch page on Pinterest, which, like the time lapse, which was last is linked below. Going to start having to do this instead of this because, yeah, cards are gone. That I'm having to retrain my mind to not say "I'm the corner" anymore, and end screens are gone. So yeah, 30-second shorter videos. But thanks you so much for watching. Here's to a joyful new year and a joyful new decade. And I'll see you in the next video.